One of the main things that they test on for integration is finding the area between two curves. So for this, what we do is find the points of intersection of the two curves. So that's our A and B in our integral.
And what's the equation for Pythagoras' theorem?
A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Brilliant. And what's C squared got to be?
C squared has to be, oh, yeah, the C squared is the hypotenuse.
Excellent, yeah. So the one that it equals has always got to be the longest side, and that's called the hypotenuse. Excellent. And the other thing we've got to remember with Pythagoras' theorem is that it only works for right-angled triangles.
Which sucks.
Yeah, our life would be a lot easier if it worked for every single triangle, right?
Right.
These are called pathogens. And the definition of pathogen is microorganism that causes disease. So do you know what a microorganism is?
It's very small.
Yeah, exactly. That's great. So yeah, we've obviously got bacteria. Can you think of the common cold? You know what type of pathogen causes that?
No.
So if you were putting if something foreign was a pathogen, like something that causes a cold, like a virus, then your body's immediate reaction is to fight that off. And what that does is that destroys the thing that's in your body.
Ah, I see your question. Okay, so the reason that memory cells that we get for the cold don't work is because the actual pathogen that causes a cold is constantly mutating. It's got a very high mutation rate. So every time it comes into our body, it's got different antigen. So every single time the body has to think, oh, the body has to go through that initial process every time.
Taxi drivers have got very good spatial awareness, and your spatial awareness sits in your hippocampus.
Okay.
So they've got much bigger hippocampuses than somebody that does just a sit-down office job because they're using it much more. But this disagrees with Sperry, because Sperry would say that you can't have areas of the brain that are taking over other bits, and that every area is the same size.
Okay.
So localization of function is this box, and that once you stop being a taxi driver and you never get into a car again, that little area will still be designated to that bit. Now, plasticity is becoming a lot more popular in psychology, and people believe it a lot more, and especially when you're a child. So they have done studies on children that have been born blind. So they never use their eyes because they never were able to. And they've done a scan on them, and they've looked at their brain when they're moving or when they're smelling, and they found that the bit that's designated to their eyes is lighting up when they're moving. And that's because that was here, and that was an empty space in their brain that was never used. So the movement has now moved in and is using that space for itself. And so do you know when they say that blind people have heightened senses?
Yeah.
That's why, because the bits of their brain that they're not using, people think that they're using for their other senses.
Because they had more opportunity to learn and use that spatial memory area, they got more connections in it. So then there's another study that found that even at age 60 and above, learning a new skill, and it was juggling in the case of this one, increased neural growth in the visual cortex. So that was quite an interesting study because it showed that plasticity occurs much later than we first expected.
Who did that study?
That was Boyk in 2008.
Oh.
but the two ending lines rhyme, so that's called a rhyming couplet. Okay, Shakespeare uses those quite a lot because he invented something called the Shakespearean sonnet form. Okay. The Shakespearean sonnet rhyme scheme is A, D, A, B, C, D, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G.
So factors that limit the rate of photosynthesis is temperature, carbon dioxide, and light intensity.
Yeah.
So at low temperatures, this will inhibit the rate of photosynthesis, as molecules will move less and reactions will happen slower.
So they haven't balanced this. The same rules apply though. We want to find the half equation, even if they've already sort of aggregated it together into one. So if you were to break this up into two half equations that we can then balance, what would it be?
So it would be AS2O3.
Yeah.
Like, maybe leave some space first. Yeah. H3ASO4.
Very nice. And what would the one be?
Like, what was I going to say? Okay, so and then NO3 minus, we can do that. Equals N2O3.
Yeah.
So I think that you're supposed to like ignore like the oxygen and hydrogen and then figure out the oxidation number of the AS.
Yeah, good. So we want to balance everything except for the oxygen and hydrogen first. Good.
Yeah.
So what do we do?